This is Brenda from Artist Fusion. In this video I will show you how to make a faux exotic stone desk with MDF and resin. I have two pieces of 3/8 inch thick MDF. Each piece is 2 feet by 4 feet. I am using Titebond 2 wood glue to join the two pieces together to create a 1.5 inch thick top. Now I am placing my second piece on. Once it is in position, I will place clamps on it to hold it in place. When attaching the clamps, make sure your piece didn't slip out of place from sliding in the glue. If it did, reposition it and tighten your clamps. Now I'm going to use my nail gun to tack the two pieces of MDF together. Make sure your nails are shorter than 1.5 inches long, or they will go through the other side. I am creating a rock face edge on all 4 edges. To do this, I am using Bondo wood filler by 3M. I'm going to scoop some out and mix it with the hardener right on the desktop. The hardener is red, so it is easy to tell when you have mixed it enough. Your mixed Bondo will be pinkish in color. I'm using a gloved hand to spread the Bondo on the edges. I'm using a patting motion in irregular patterns because I do not want this edge to be smooth. I am looking for a chiseled rock look. You need to move quickly with Bondo as it sets up fast. Your working time once the hardener is mixed is only a few minutes, so only mix as much as you can use in about 5 minutes. This edge is starting to set up. I'm patting over it one last time to add some more texture. I will repeat this on the other 3 edges. I let the Bondo cure for 30 minutes, and now I'm going to sand the top with 100 and 220 grit and lightly hit the edges with 220 to remove any sharp areas. I'm also rounding over the top edge a bit with the sander. With the sanding done, I cleaned off all the dust and brought it back to the resin room. I'm going to spray a base coat of Rust-Oleum Canyon Black in satin, and make sure that I coat all of my edges very well. The edges have some great texture, and I want to be sure that all the nooks and crannies have paint in them. I am also covering the top in the black. I'm going to fog on some Blossom White. Too much white for me, so I'm adding more black. I'm going to let this dry for about an hour and come back. I have mixed up Counterculture DIY medium viscosity artist resin, and I am tinting it with their intense color pigment in Black Diamond. This will be my base coat, which acts as a lubrication for my other colors to flow on. I'm going to pour it out over the board and spread it with a gloved hand. I want to make sure that those textured edges are well coated. I am using mostly spray paint to tint the resin, as well as Counterculture DIY White Armor Art. The spray paint colors are Blossom White, Canyon Black, Hammered Bronze, Espresso, Warm Caramel, Cinnamon, and Rustic Orange. I'm going to torch the bubbles before I get started mixing my colors. I have already mixed my resin and divided it into separate cups for colors. Now I'm spraying one color per cup. Spray enough to tint the resin until it is opaque. About 10 seconds of spray should achieve this. Again, each cup is receiving a different spray paint color. I place my hand over the cup while spraying to reduce the amount of spray released into the air. You really should be wearing a respirator for this. I ordered a full face one from Amazon and will link it in the description section of the video. I had a camera malfunction when I was creating the dirty pour bucket. Luckily, I had a video of it from the shelf of the desk. I will use it to show how to put all your colors together in one bucket for the dirty pour. You will need a larger bucket to layer your colors in. Pour a little bit of each color and periodically spray white, black, or hammered bronze, or a combination of them, on top of your colors. This will cause your colors to fight each other and create cells. Continue this process of layering colors and spraying paint until you have almost used all of your colors up. Save a bit of each color for later. Now I'm ready to dirty pour. I'm going to slowly pour this out in random patterns all over the board. This doesn't look like much now, but wait until it starts to flow and the colors start to fight each other. Remember I told you to save some color? Now use your leftovers to create another dirty bucket using the same bucket. Hopefully you will add in a different sequence than the first time and end up with a different pattern when you pour. With this, you want to fill in your empty spots. When you get down to a little stringy line coming out of the bucket, you can randomly add fracture lines into the piece. Do this by pinching the bucket and pouring, or you can use a stick to drizzle it. I'm going to torch this to pop any bubbles. If you look closely, you can see the bubbles disappearing as I pass by with the torch. I'm double checking my edges to make sure that they are coated. If there are any bare spots, I'm using a gloved hand to dab some of the resin that dripped onto the table onto those bare spots. I'm going to let this cure overnight and come back to it in the morning. You can see how those colors, the spray paints, and the armor art are fighting with each other and causing wonderful effects. This is the next day, and I have sanded this with 220 grit, cleaned off all the dust, and I'm going to wipe it down with acetone. I have to pay special attention to the textured edges to make sure there is no dust left in the chiseled edge. I've mixed up Counterculture DIY medium viscosity artist resin for my flood coat. I'm using 4 ounces per square foot for a total of 32 ounces, rounding up to the closest ounce on the 1-to-1 ratio mixing bucket. I'm going to pour this out down the center of the piece, then remix it with a 1/8 inch square notch trowel and slowly spread it out. Each pass I bring it closer to the edge until finally allowing it to flow over the edge. Now I am using a gloved hand to pat the top. This breaks any surface tension. I will also use a gloved hand to rub the edges, making sure they are fully coated. I am using the torch to pop any bubbles. I will let it sit for 15 minutes and then torch again for a final pass. I will let this sit overnight to cure. This is the next day, and I have sanded with 220 grit, cleaned the dust off, and wiped it down with acetone. I'm trying out a new premium 2-component water-based urethane top coat. This product is called Liquid Rock by Urban Art Resin. It's a 3-to-1 ratio mix and comes in a matte or a gloss finish. The company told me that if I mixed equal parts of the gloss and the matte, I could achieve a satin look. So that's what I'm going for. This is supposed to not only give it a more natural stone look, but also add better scratch protection. This is my first time using it, so I will update you in the future as to how scratch resistant it truly is. I am eager to try this, so let's get these cans open. As I said, it is a 3-to-1 ratio. I have these little plastic cups with lines to measure out my ratios. Once mixed, there is no saving this, so only mix what you think you'll need or you'll end up wasting it. I am measuring out 3 parts A of the matte finish and putting it into a small mixing container. Now 1 part B of the matte finish. I am measuring 3 parts A and 1 part B of the gloss finish and adding it to the cup with the matte finish. I mix this for 2 minutes off camera. You will need 2 3/8 inch nap weenie rollers. One is for rolling on the product and the other is for dry rolling off to remove lap lines. You will also need some masking tape. Pull out a long piece of tape and run the roller over it to deshed the roller. Do this to both rollers. Pour the product into a small roller tray. Make sure there's no dust on the top. You want to really saturate your roller. Roll on the product, making sure you have plenty on there. Don't worry about how it looks, just get it on. Use the roller to apply the product on all 4 of your edges as well. Now use your dry roller. Start at one end and work your way to the other end. Overlap each roll by half. You will see how this removes some of the milky look and the roller lines. Dry roll the edges as well. Once you pass over with the dry roller, don't touch it again. Allow 4 to 6 hours to dry and overnight to cure. The top coat did give it more of a natural satin look, but does leave a bit of a texture. This is my finished piece. There are other companies with similar top coat products that I may try. I will update you on the scratch resistance once it has been used for a while. This desk will be used every day. Thank you for watching. Visit our store at artistsfusion.com. Please like and subscribe to be notified of new videos.